What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of the Jericho Report Weekly News Briefing. It is Monday, the 1st of June, 2015. Welcome to June, and welcome to another Monday edition of the Jericho Report. Hopefully, I'll get back to the regular schedule really soon. But the show goes on. As always, the first link below will take you to the Blogspot post. That's where you can find all of the madness from the past week. 2 dead, several hurt in shooting at Grand Forks Walmart. This is up in North Dakota, I believe. What makes this tragic, apparently, was a U.S. airman who shot some people and then turned a gun on himself. So another case of disgruntled, military person. I don't know. We got Melbourne. Police say pilot smelled like alcohol after crash. Where did this happen? This is out of, looks like it's out of Colorado. No, it's out of Melbourne, Florida. I'm sorry. Put a link to that. Speaking of the airlines, Malaysian Airlines to lay off up to 1/3 of staff. Well, not a good time for Malaysia Airlines. Can anybody figure out why? Speaking of airlines, anonymous threats against airlines prompt searches. All okay. This May 25. A lot of threats being made against airlines, and in the weeks preceding Jade Helm. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but other news going on. Joe Biden's son apparently dead of brain cancer, dead or taken to the dumb. Because check out the next story. John Kerry breaks his leg while cycling in the Alps. Plans to return home Monday. Is he headed to the dumb? Weird stuff going on ahead of Jade Helm. Shout out to Texas. Texas passes open carry law for handguns. Right on. Put a link to that. Speaking of guns, HBO, MTV, and a host of celebrities to join Bloomberg an anti-gun event. How disappointing. Over to financial news. How the Dow did last week. Let me get this out of the way. Looks like the Dow lost 115 points, but did close still above 18,000. 1068. Put a link to the market recap data if anybody cares. Meanwhile, from the Telegraph, the world is drowning in debt, warns Goldman Sachs. No, really? There's an eye-opener, eh? Hawaii News Now says overdraft fees. The banks are doing good. Overdraft fees top $1 billion at the 3 biggest banks in the world. Everybody is paying overdraft fees. IRS says thieves stole tax info from 100,000 people May 26, 2015 from ABC News. You don't say. Meanwhile, up in Detroit, they are actually turning off people's water once again. The UN chimes in on that. I'll put this link from Fusion. We got House bill would require gun owners to have liability insurance. Liability insurance requirement for... Does it say in the Second Amendment, shall not be infringed, but must have insurance? I don't know. Tell me what you think about that from the Hill. A couple more in the financial bin. Are we at a turning point? What we spend on ISIS. Is that a $4 billion with a B? $4,398,826... Wait a minute. Yeah, that's a big number. This is what we're spending on ISIS. You paid for it, America. Speaking of ISIS, Iraq lost 2,300 Humvees in Mosul to ISIS worth $579 million. Who do you think paid for that? Oh, it's a big idea. A new world order, right? George Bush, all going to plan. Over to New World Order Police State News. Body cam video captures California cops tussle with 8-month pregnant woman. Throw her on the ground, stomach first. What do you think about that? We Are Change says Texas SWAT team throws grenade into 81-year-old innocent man's home. This came out May 28. They got an article on that. Over to the war on Christianity in the New World Order bin. Hillary Clinton says religious beliefs have to be changed on abortion. Really? This from The Blaze. Put a link to that. Sticking with the religious factor, Marine court-martialed over display of Bible verse. Court-martialed over Bible verse. May 28. I'll put a link to it. Speaking of the New World Order, do you know what opened last week? The One World Observatory at the New World Trade Center. One World Observatory. What do you think that means? Pope Francis chimes in on the New World Order. We got one here from We Are Change. Pope Francis will visit the UN to call upon crusade for New World Order. Whatever does he mean? Is he a conspiracy theorist? Senate reconvenes for a last-minute attempt to revise Patriot Act. All of the people on the internet who are talking about the Patriot Act expires at midnight and all this, the Patriot Act isn't going anywhere. It's going to be known as the Freedom Act, in my opinion. But do you really think that the NSA and all this crap is just going to stop? Give me a break. I'll put a link to it. I got one more. Some good news, actually, that happened last week. Federal panel lets injunction against Obama's immigration actions stand. So it's not a good time for Obama and his immigration plan. But all the more reason to bring in the big false flag, to open the borders and have the New World Order and take the guns away. You know how it's going to go down. Operation Blackjack. Google it. Over to World War III news. ISIS vows to take Obama to avenge whoever they killed over there with ISIS. International Business Times, they're going to take Obama. Obama works for ISIS. What are you talking about? We Are Change says, surprise, pilots frustrated at White House for ineffective air campaign against ISIS, May 28, 2015. What do you think about that? Russia, over to Russia now. Russia's nuclear threats deeply troubling, says NATO chief. This May 27 from Yahoo News. Speaking of Russia, things aren't going good with China either. George Soros warns that China, U.S. on the threshold of World War III. That's interesting. Who do we bomb in Operation Blackjack besides Iran, Syria, China? Put a link to this from Zero Hedge. I don't know. Might be connected, might not. Over the North Korean hackers could kill, warn key defector. Could kill. Oh, that's right. They shut down Sony, right? That's the official story. Speaking of North Korea, they may be working with Iran to develop a nuclear warhead. This May 30 from a source I don't know, but I'll put a link to it. Does not surprise me. U.S. removes Cuba from state-sponsored terrorism list. May 29, 2015 from the New York Times. One more in the financial bin. UK-based F-15ES flew secret long-range mission over Africa last Monday. What's that about? Over to Earth changes in 2012 news now, man. The Pacific Rim continues to rock. We had a 7.8 pretty deep in the ocean over near Japan. We had a 6.7 up near Alaska, 6.3 Mid-Atlantic Ridge, 6.8 Solomon Islands. I'll put a link to the USGS. Big quakes on the left, small quakes on the right, last small quakes going on as well. Speaking of the Japan quake, I sent this out on Twitter and Facebook. Magnitude 8.5 quake shakes off eastern Japan. Now, I believe that was the 7.8, but it was originally reported as an 8.5. And so far, Yahoo has not corrected their article. So I'll put a link to that. What do you think about that? 2 separate quakes? I don't know. There was 3 buoys going off over by Japan, but apparently no destructive tsunami. Good news there. Presidential disaster declaration signed after Texas storm kills 21. Man, I feel for my friends down in Texas. Dealing with all this flooding, it is crazy. We got meteorologists predict a busier than normal hurricane season for the Central Pacific. Put a link to this from Hawaii News now. I think there's a storm going on out there right now, if I'm not mistaken. Meanwhile, over in India, Indians scramble for heat relief, but many still must work. I don't know exactly what that means, but a lot of people are dead, like 1,400 people dead in India from heat exhaustion, a lot of heat going on. Japan issues highest level alert, evacuation warnings over volcano. Another volcano erupting. Put a link to that. Like Japan needs more problems right now. Meanwhile, back in the United States, the ocean off California coast is turning into a desert. Wonder why? Fukushima radiation much? Meanwhile, 1/3 of endangered antelope mysteriously die off in a few days, up to 85,000? 85,000 antelope dead? Am I reading that right? Put a link to that from the National Post, May 22nd, 2015. Over to strange and bizarre news. Got some strange news this week. 38-year-old woman bites off thumb of 22-year-old woman at club because she touched her boyfriend. Did you touch my boyfriend's ass? I'll put a link to that. We got Indiana woman stabbed in the eye with a fork over fight about last barbecued rib. I'll stab you in the eye with a fork. I don't know. Judge orders woman to walk 30 miles, the length of the trip, for bailing on a cab fare. That seems fair to me. I'll walk 30 miles for you. Right on. This man painted Obama with his erect penis, but he's really quite introverted. He apparently uses his penis as a paintbrush. Okay then. Zero Hedge has... My love is real. Kenyan lawyer offers cows, sheep, and goats for Obama's daughter. Speaking of Obama, 526. And one more, speaking of Obama, actually, Michael Obama. Cow escapes from slaughterhouse only to be killed near a McDonald's. McDonald's doesn't sell beef. For all other news, please check my favorite videos. There's all kinds of fresh content over there. Thank you to everybody who puts out videos. At least pull it up, scan over the title, see if there's anything over there you don't know about. It's got a couple shout-outs this week. Shout out to TheTrutherGirls. She made a great video about how conspiracy theorists are apparently causing people to back out of joining ISIS. It's funny. I'll put a link to it. She's got the mainstream article on that. And shout out to ImYourGhost, otherwise known as Monograph, Jade Helm, and the New World Order Soldier. It's good to see the New World Order Soldier again, man. You definitely want to check that out. It's only 9 minutes long. Going over current events. Definitely stuff you need to know about. That's all I got for this week, guys. If you like the report, please give me a thumbs up or thumbs down. I think it sucked. It's the worst of YouTube. You never want to see again. Please rate, though. It helps it move around. I do appreciate it. You can also follow me on Facebook, Google+, and Twitter for live show alerts, breaking news alerts, new upload alerts, always posted there when they're up. Those links are always at the bottom. And through the week, if I'm not making videos, I will send stuff out on Facebook and Twitter, so definitely follow me there if you want breaking news alerts. That's all I got. Again, sorry for it being another Monday report. I will try to get back on the regular schedule. My life has just been turned upside down by some events recently, and I'm trying to get back to normal. But you guys take care, stay safe, have an excellent week. Happy June. I will see you on the next one.